Alright, good evening guys. Today we're gonna compare an AS41 case, an original Volkswagen case, and a brand new aftermarket case from EMPI. And we'll also talk about what caused this engine to fail. So there's still a bunch of stuff attached to the old case, like the old oil filter, external oil filter. I still have some of the lifters in here, and cam bearings, and one main bearing, just the center. The others are still on the crank, which I can show you in a second. Here is the old crank. Supposedly to be a scat crank, but I didn't see any scat markings on it. The only thing I found is that it was turned down 10 thousandths. But what failed with this is the rear main, well, this is technically the first main bearing or front main bearing, even though this is the back of the engine, technically. It's seized up pretty good, so can't get it off. If I attempted to get it off, the crankshaft probably wouldn't even be able to be saved, so I bought a new one. This is the other main bearing. So this goes there. Sits like this inside the engine. This is the back of the case. But anyway, this has also has an extended pickup tube here, because this had a sump on it. Which I don't know if I'm going to put it on this engine or not. Maybe. But anyhow, get rid of this thing. So, this is the one side of the case. Try to angle this so you can see in here. This is the great looking main bearing. As you can see, pretty beat up. Lots of grooves and gouges in it. Whoever built the engine, not really sure exactly what they did. The engine only had, it was apparently a fresh rebuild. I had put maybe 600 miles on it, and the rear main, well, the main bearing seized. But inside of here, you can see all this trash that was ran through it, and that's what created these dents and gouges inside the main bearings. You can also see that in the lifter bores here. Try to raise these up. He I guess attempted to chamfer the lifter bores. I don't know if it was to accept the bigger crank, or not crank, camshaft. These are all scratched up. Kind of looks like someone used 36 grit sandpaper on these lifters as well. And they're like very tight. They don't go in and out very easy. Except for these two. These ones fell out. But they're all like that. Really wondering what he used to do that. Maybe a chisel or something and a hammer. Looks crazy. But very dirty everywhere. It definitely seems like he built this thing in the middle of a sandstorm, or not really sure what. Cam bearings don't look as bad. They still have some gouges in them and such, and dog hair, because this case has been split for a couple weeks now, and I've just let it be until I made this video. And I'm gonna take it apart. Well, take off some of the stuff and get rid of it pretty much. But there's that. On this side, it's the same, just has the gear for the distributor. Push it out. Because I'm gonna probably use this in that engine. And I gotta take this off for my distributor. This is CB Performance mount for the coil pack. But as you can see, all of the lifter bores have these great homemade chamfer job, or whatever he was attempting to do. I don't quite know, but it obviously didn't work, because the cam needs to be completely resurfaced because of all the grime and junk that was ran through this thing. He probably didn't hot tank it if it was a fresh rebuild, so it wasn't cleaned properly. So whenever it broke the last time, he just took it apart and, you know, put it back together with new stuff and didn't even think or bother to do it, the cleanup. This is the other part that failed. There's like this little notch here for this pin, which somehow I found. I don't know how, but I found it on the floor in the garage. But it sits in here and holds that bearing in place. And over time, it started rocking until it came all the way out, and then that main bearing spun and seized itself on that crank. So that's fun. But as you see, the rest of them have them. So it is what it is. Onto the good stuff though. But here's the big differences. Slide this one over a little more. So you can see here, right here, which would be this spot right here, they cut it out to accept bigger crankshafts, did it in between each, and then also along here, I think it said that it can take up to an 86 millimeter crankshaft. The stock one's only 69 millimeters, so it's a pretty big difference. It's to run your big displacement air-cooled engines, so like a 2332, something like that. These ones, also the lifter bores, are already chamfered and not all crazy looking like these. Everything's smooth and nice. Let's see what else is different. Oh, this one also has case savers. These inserts that go in here to save it from pretty much these holes getting wore out, because these are aluminum. This case is also double reinforced, so it should be pretty strong. So all nice and new. Here's the back side, and here's the only part that I believe is the only brand new part in this entire engine, is that bolt right there. So you see this one's plugged. But yeah, I think the guy I bought this engine from, I think that's the only new part. I think everything else is probably the same. Unfortunate. But, you know, live and learn. So again, these are already chamfered. Nice smooth bores. These are the oiling passages right here. These are where those dials go that I was just talking about. Trying to see if I see anything else that's different other than these spots being milled out. Right here's milled out too. Just cut that. This one I think is also cylinder 3 side. So they also thickened up the back here behind cylinder 3 because this is very prone to breaking on most of the old Volkswagen engines. So there it is. Very soon, the next few videos, I'll be cleaning the inside of these really good, and then I'll start assembling a new engine. It has a brand new crank, all new main bearings, new camshaft, new lifters. Pretty much everything is new, except for the heads. They're big port Brazilian heads. Able to run pretty good. I'm using a Scat C45 cam this time, as the old cam is pretty beat, very scratched. It looks like it ran really hot, so that'll be hopefully the next video, or maybe the next video will be me showing the rotating assembly that's at the machine shop right now, getting balanced up and everything checked for tolerances and make sure they're still in round, because those connecting rods seemed like they got kind of hot, yeah, it's definitely a mystery inside of this engine. Oh, this one just kind of hobbled together, but you live and learn. It's all good. Anyway, thanks for watching. Stay tuned for the next one, where I either reveal some parts or start building an engine.